What happens if a chain smoker quits smoking suddenly? I found out when my grandpa's funeral finally slapped some sense into me. At 34, I'd been smoking 2 packs daily since high school, but watching them lower Gramps into the ground, oxygen tank buried with him after 40 years of emphysema, broke something in me. Growing up, Grandpa had been my hero, former Marine, carpenter who could build anything, and the best fishing buddy a kid could ask for. But those last years, I barely recognized him. His once powerful frame withered to nothing, tethered to an oxygen tank, struggling for every breath. "Don't end up like me," he'd whispered during my last visit, clutching my arm with fingers stained yellow from decades of Marlboros. "Promise me." I'd nodded, then stepped outside to smoke while my sister stayed with him. The hypocrisy hit me full force at his funeral. Standing there in the rain, watching my sister crying, I realized I was making the exact same choices that killed him. I pulled out my cigarette pack and crushed it in my fist. That night, I flushed every cigarette and deleted my dealer's number. I threw away lighters, ashtrays, even the jacket that permanently smelled like smoke. Clean break, big mistake. By noon the next day, I was shaking so violently my boss thought I had Parkinson's. Sweat poured down my back during a client call. "You coming down with something?" she asked, eyeing me suspiciously. "Just a bug," I lied. She sent me home early. My roommate took one look at me and backed away. "Dude, whatever you have, keep it away from me. I've got finals next week." "I quit smoking," I managed to say, pacing circles around our living room. He laughed. "Nobody quits cold turkey. That's insane. You're making me anxious just watching you." Day 2 brought headaches that felt like someone drilling through my skull. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. My body was staging a full rebellion. By day 3, the nightmares started. Vivid dreams where I'd wake up convinced my lungs were filling with concrete. I'd gasp awake, clawing at my chest. The cravings weren't just thoughts. They were full-bodied demands screaming through every cell. Then came the moment I nearly broke. It was 3 a.m. on day 4, and I found myself standing outside a 24-hour gas station. I'd driven there in my pajamas, not even fully conscious of the decision. A teenager working the counter stared at me through the glass as I stood frozen by the door. "You coming in?" he called. I was about to, my hand reaching for the handle, when my phone buzzed. A text from my sister. "Day 4, still smoke-free. Grandpa would be so proud." She'd been checking in daily. I hadn't told anyone I was quitting, but somehow she knew. That text saved me. I got back in my car and drove home. The next few days were still hell. I snapped at coworkers, couldn't concentrate, felt like my skin was crawling. But each morning, my sister's text would arrive, counting another day. By day 14, something unexpected happened. The elevator in my building broke down, and I had to climb 5 flights of stairs to my apartment. I braced myself for the familiar burning in my lungs, the wheezing, the need to stop halfway. But when I reached my door, I realized something. I was fine, breathing normally. After a month, I noticed food actually had flavor again. I could smell my neighbors cooking from down the hall. My morning cough disappeared. The constant film of fatigue lifted. 2 months in, I found an old coat with a forgotten pack in the pocket. I held it, surprised by my lack of desire to smoke. Instead, I felt slightly nauseated. I flushed them without hesitation. Yesterday marked 6 months smoke-free. My sister came over with a small cake that said 183 days in blue icing. As she hugged me, she pulled back with a smile. "You don't smell like an ashtray anymore," she said, "and you look like you again. Like the brother I remember from before." It was the best compliment I've ever received. I still get cravings, usually when stressed, but they're echoes now, not screams. And each time, I think about Grandpa struggling to breathe, and about my sister's daily texts that never stopped coming. I don't know if I've added years to my life, but I've added life to my years. And somewhere I like to think Grandpa's proud that I finally kept my promise.